to the military. Listen to this man because he said he went in with the idea of getting a job after the military. I was a forward observer, man, so I learned how to blow stuff up, man. I can't do nothing with that in the civilian world. So gotta pick your battles and be smart when you're going in there.
Oh
So
yeah.
I want to learn a little bit more about this award that you're nominated for, man. Tell everybody a little bit about that.
All right. So it's called the VETIS. It's by the Academy of the United States Veterans, and like I said, it's the transition units theory. I first introduced the transition units theory at the Oklahoma State Capitol. As a matter of fact, this is one of my entrepreneur ventures. Matter of fact, one of my first ones. And so my mother, she's an artist, and so she does oil paintings, acrylic paintings, charcoal, the whole nine. And so, and getting her name out there, it was just, I was an undergrad at the time. And matter of fact, no, I just finished undergrad. And so she's like, yeah, I want to. And so we decided to do an art exhibit. And we and it was called the On Our Hero series to honor veterans. And so we managed to reserve the Oklahoma State Capitol, the Rotunda area, which is between where the House representatives meet, the state, and the Senate. And so we were there. We were able to get the media to come. We even held a press conference there at the Capitol. And during that exhibit, we had a list of names of a couple hundred people we dedicated the artwork to. Our goal is 100,000, so we're still trying to get more names. And doing so, we also held an award ceremony to honor some vets who served in the military out of state of Oklahoma. And this is during their 100-year anniversary as a state in the United States. And so I introduced it there during a speech. And one of my buddies who I served in Iraq with recorded it, put it on Facebook. And so from there, things just took off. So once it took off, it put on Facebook. Facebook got about 50,000 views on it today. And it led to me meeting a congressman. And, he was just like, I like your idea. Will you be willing to present in front of Congress, the state Congress? I said, yeah, sure. And so I get a call 3 weeks later and they're saying, hey, we got you slide to speak next week. Can you do it? I said, yeah, I can. So I gave them all my, my PowerPoint presentation and everything. And they were like, man, we love that idea. We love it. So, and I ended up speaking in front of the Arizona House Military and Veterans Affairs Committee during their congressional session, during the state congressional session. And so they enjoyed it. And they're like, well, write it as a bill. So I said, okay, sure. So, I wrote it. So, and right now, I wrote it as a bill, but I want to really push it because it's a federal issue. So I want to really push it at the federal level. Mm-hmm. And I think this is going to be a great idea and a great hand. This award is being the finest because it's in the leadership category. And so I think this would be great as far as getting awareness out there, letting people know, because this is a proactive approach to helping veterans with the PTSD, homelessness, unemployment. And we want to help them while they're still in the military, not when they get out. But we also want to help them when they get out as well. So we're helping them prior to getting out, and we're helping them even after they get out. And that's the whole concept behind it.
Yeah, my heart goes out to all the vets. I know when I got out of the military, I was a wreck, man. I was just a pile of garbage for a while, and then I kind of figured it out. Had to get back and adapt to civilian life. So anything that anyone can do to help just that transition, it's just no one really understands it unless you've been in the military and then you get out. This is like a different kind of world, So. Mm-hmm. What is the bill? Like, what is it? How does it help the vets necessarily? And then how can other people maybe help it if it's possible?
Well, like I said, my goal, I want to focus, and I want to really start off focusing on the combat vets first, and having those combat vets more or less prepare more for the civilian way of life on a daily routine. Getting used to speaking with the civilian language terms, because that's a problem that I had real bad. Was speaking that military lingo, and so like that, especially on the enlisted side. I want to be able to prove, practice interviewing skills. I know they have some things that help with interviewing skills, but, we already know when you're still attached to the unit, the unit comes first, on your way out the door. So it makes it harder, to transition when you're pulling CQ duty shifts, because that was the issue that I had when I was in the military was, on my way out the door is CQ. I was like, well, I need to prepare to get out. Well, you got CQ again.
Yeah, for sure.
I was like, man, so, I was like, well, I need to put out my resume or interview for jobs. No, you got CQ. And I was like, yeah. And so I want to give these guys a better opportunity, instead of having to pull that 24-hour CQ shift duty and, stuff like that. So I'm aiming towards, getting these guys in school. When I got out the military, I had a plan. So I got out around May timeframe, but I went straight. I already did my school registration. I registered for school. I did my school registration. and all that. So by the time I really got out of school, got the military, I already had all my classes. I knew what I was getting. I had my financial aid taken care of. One thing I had to do was just put in my VA benefits because I'm still in service. So the VA benefits don't count till you get out of service. But the thing is you can put it in the very next day you get out, and to speed up the process. Yeah. And so that's one of the things that I did, and which made it go by faster. And it was just, I was fortunate enough to where when I got out, I was able to get my school benefits within the first 90 days of me being out when I needed it. Yeah. So, I want to make sure other people have that same opportunity. They're prepared for that, and they're prepared for the conversation, especially since when I got out, I'm a 30-year-old man, and I'm in class with an 18, 19-year-old, and I'm trying to communicate. and these guys are fresh out of high school, and I'm served 3 tours in combat. So, the whole, and it was, so it was cool making that transition, because a lot of those guys thought I was cool. Like, man, this dude been in Iraq, he's cool. And so I kind of played that. I used that to form study groups. And, so it helped out. I was able to use that experience to help out that way. So, as far as that, but that's the overall objective of the transitionist theory, is be able to help these guys, especially with the PTSD. That's a big factor because, you can claim, we understand where in the military, if you have PTSD, mental health issues, you'll get a flag. For those in the civilian world understand what a flag means, it's pretty much a mark or a penalty. Yeah. And it can prevent you from getting promoted. It can prevent you from getting things that are beneficial in your favor. Mm-hmm. And so what I want to do is make it to where those things are no longer effective, as far as a flag. If you're saying you have PTSD issues or mental health issues, and especially if you're on your way out the door. Now, if you're still in service and you say, I have mental health issues, and your unit's getting ready to go to a combat zone where you need a weapon, of course that makes sense. But if you're not going to a combat zone, then there's no sense for that. It doesn't add up to me. So if we can prepare these guys to go into the civilian world and how to handle and find that trigger and the stress points while they're still in service, instead when they get out of service without the penalties, it's more beneficial instead of waiting till the last minute or waiting till you're out the service to realize I have these trigger points and look for these trigger points. If you're already proactive about that, you can catch it prior. And so that's my goal, is to do that, and to do it, like I said, proactively instead of reactively.
Yeah, for sure. When I got out of the military, it was like traumatic. I had like a family and I was broke and I just didn't know what the fuck I was doing. So I think if anybody out there, needs help and there's some way to support them, any military family getting back into like, it's just a very important cause. So I feel that. That's awesome, man.